Take me to your leader. Welcome to Headbangers at the Hangar. This is episode number 4. I am your host, the driver of this crazy UFO spaceship thing that we call planet Earth, Andrew Mercer. What's up, guys? Episode number 4, but today is a very special episode, in my opinion. If you ask me personally, I think this is more like episode number 1 because I have my first interview that I'm going to put on the show. When I started the show, of course I have 3 episodes before this, which you can check all of them out on YouTube. There's the first 2 is me kind of just spitballing about what the show is about. We got a little bit of metal, a little bit of alien stuff like that. The third show was, of course, a tribute to the great, late Joey Jordison, the drummer of my favorite metal band, Slipknot. But when I started the show, it's a journey for musicians. It's a journey for UFO enthusiasts. And our education will not come through me. It will come through others in the field. So this first interview that I've done, I'm very happy to announce that it's with Dave Alexander. Now, Dave was the bassist for a band called Sugar Red Drive. They were really big, probably about 10 years ago at this point, give or take. They went out on the road with acts such as Puddle of Mud, Saving Abel, and all across the country. And I'm friends with Dave on Instagram, because we went to school when we were little kids. I mean, I'm talking kindergarten, the early days. And he put something up on Instagram, reflecting. It had been many years since he had played with Sugar Red Drive. The band is, of course, disbanded. But he put up that, it was fun, but looking back at it, he appreciates that he decided to move away from the band in that direction because he said that it had put a toll on his body, on his mind, and the thing that he thought he had loved, he had grown to despise. So being a musician, I thought that was really interesting. So that's why I decided to talk to Dave. Awesome interview. So stay tuned. That's coming up in just a couple minutes. I will not say too much. Trust me. I'd rather get right to the interview. I did another interview with a guitarist and singer of the band Our Fears. His name is Miles Strand. That was also a great interview. They are a kick-ass band. More of that to come on the next episode. I got some things in the works with 2 artists. One of them is named Karen. It's hard to link up with her, though, because she's out all the way in Phoenix, but she does all kinds of art with aliens, some paranormal stuff, which is cool because Halloween's coming up. Another artist, I forget his name right off the top of my head. You can find him on Instagram and Facebook through Similar Alien. He does a bunch of alien pieces. I actually bought 2 of them. They're on my wall. So I want to talk to him. So I'm really happy we got guests coming on the show here. It just took me a little bit of time to figure it out, and but yeah, they're coming in. They're coming in rapidly, and very excited for what's coming up. Now, of course, just some housekeeping. The show Headbangers at the Hangar is brought to you, as always, by Monster Energy and by Spotify. Thank you, Spotify. And if you want to be a part of the show, I'm talking about anything. Okay, if you have things you want to suggest, topics you want me to talk about, maybe people you think I should talk to, send me an email, headbangersatthehangar@gmail.com. I know a lot of you are metalheads, so you're not that great with the spelling, but hanger is spelled H-A-N-G-A-R, not H-A-N-G-E-R. Hanger, like Hangar 18. The Megadeth song. Alright. Of course, you can find everything on YouTube. make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Actually, don't subscribe. Do not subscribe to the channel. I don't need numbers to justify the success of this podcast. But in all seriousness, things are looking up for the show. We got a lot of great things coming, a lot of great interviews. Let's see. I haven't done a podcast in a while. It's been some time. I've been busy. I've been organizing the guests, stuff like that. What's happened since then? Not too much. As far as the alien stuff goes, nothing groundbreaking. There was something interesting a couple weeks ago, maybe a week ago at this point. I'm not sure. But Paterson, New Jersey, there was a sighting. A couple lights in the sky, moving in symmetry, which is cool because I live in Orange County, New York, the great Middletown, New York, which this is where the Hilltop Studios is located, Middletown, New York. But Paterson, New Jersey is less than an hour from my house, so it's local. They're coming. And also, the guest of the show, Dave, we did the interview, then a couple days afterwards, he sent me a link. There was a recent sighting in Shanghai, China, which it's always good to see that there's sightings in other countries, because if you just got them in the U.S., aside from people thinking, that these Americans are a little kooky, if you just got them in the U.S., it could be coming from other countries like China or Russia. That's the speculation, But the fact that they end up in other places, it just lets us know that the alien existence, it's bigger than planet Earth, because they're going everywhere. They're going to China, they're going to America, and those Shanghai UFOs, they were the black triangles. So we'll see what happens, man. Other than that, I want to get to the interview real quick. But recently, in honor of Halloween, I had done the Count Chocula taste test with my daughter, Gabriella. She's only about 16 months old, so it was her first exposure to Count Chocula cereal, Blueberry, Frankenberry. We had a lot of fun. So if you're interested, that's on YouTube as well. You could just type in Gabriella's Count Chocula taste test, and it should come right up for you. All right. Let's get to the interview, but a little introduction of the band. Sugar Red Drive, let's play some stuff, just so you get a little taste. I wouldn't say that they're metal per se, but it's definitely hard rock. Very distorted guitar tone. Singer's great. It got kind of like a southern drawl, but he's actually of Indian descent, which is interesting. Alright, let's see. This first one I'm going to play. This is the first track off of their album, which is also called Sugar Red Drive. You can find all their songs on Spotify, which is a great sponsor of the show. This one is called Wicked Sister. Dave's cranking it out on bass. Find the chorus. Keep going. Get the solo here. That's a little bit of Wicked Sister. Now this is their big hit, which and I addressed this with Dave during the interview. This is their big hit, One More Time, which has over 24,000 listens, which any musician knows, like, okay, if you're just talking to Joe Schmo on the street, say, oh yeah, this band has 24,000 views. They're like, okay, Katy Perry has 15 million or whatever. But a lot of times you get these bands where you put your stuff on Spotify, and I mean, basically it's just on there. People will listen, but it's usually joined by the little shark bite and then 1,000, which means that it has less than 1,000 views. But these guys got over 24,000 views on this song. This is their hit, One More Time. Let's get to the chorus. One more time. Let's play it. Just one more, then we'll get right to the interview. This one is called Coming Down. Heavy guitar tone. Dave's cranking away on the bass.
Can't stop thinking about sitting around and drinking, though it's early in the afternoon. My mind is such a wreck, tell me how should I forget that tall brown hair and a jet black boots. She's out on another ride, trying to pull me with her. I'm coming down, I'm going under. Love lies out the door, she's
All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get on to the interview with Dave Alexander of Sugar Red Drive. This is episode number 4. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Our next episode will feature an interview with Miles Strands of Our Fears, so do some homework on them before the next episode drops. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good Halloween. If I do not speak with you, send me an email. Again, HeadbangersAtTheHangar, gmail.com. Whatever you want, you email me, it will make it on the show. All right, Dave, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, Andrew? I think I haven't seen you in like over 10 years.
Yeah, we went to elementary school together, and middle school, I think, high school too.
Yeah.
I don't think we had the same kind of classes, but yeah, we grew up same area, same age, so it's nice to talk to you, man.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's nice to connect with people back in high school who are not so bitter and upset, because I feel like our whole generation is just like upset about something. It's like, all right, man.
Yeah. Well, luckily for me, I wasn't that popular in high school, so nobody's sending their bitterness my way.
Really?
Yes.
I think you were pretty popular.
Bro, I'm hosting a podcast about aliens and heavy metal. How popular could I be? You know what I mean?
Oh, that's pretty dope. Are you kidding me?
I know. Well, anyway, I wanted to have you on because you're on my Instagram, right? And you put up a post recently where, little backstory. We won't get into the whole thing right off the bat, but you were in a successful rock band, okay? Which for anybody who doesn't know, we grew up in Poughkeepsie, New York, that kind of area, which is and over there's the Chance Theater, right? So when you're a local musician, your dream is to play at the Chance. And for a lot of us, like myself included, I'm a low-level musician. The Chance is the pinnacle. A lot of musicians from the area, you play the Chance, but a lot of us don't get out of there. Your band got out of there, you hit the road. So anyway, you put up a post recently where you had mentioned, looking back on your time at it, it had been about 10 years since you had left there. And you had mentioned that what was originally your joy and something that you felt like is a dream of yours, it slowly became kind of like a hell, and you couldn't wait to get out of it originally. So I found that very interesting. Being a musician, I know there's a lot of struggling musicians out there that'll never get that opportunity. So I just thought that it was really interesting for you to have that take, and I'd like to hear more about it as the podcast goes on. But anyway, just start me off from the beginning, man. How'd you get into music? When did you pick up your first bass?
So how I got into music, so my mother and my father are musicians, and my father used to own a studio back in Brooklyn, way before my time. So when they moved to Poughkeepsie, he had to sell everything, so he didn't have anything. He had like these sick Rickenbacker basses and like Fenders and stuff. So I didn't know that until I was older. But my older brother was playing the guitar, and I knew that my father was a bass player. I'm like, I might be good at bass. Let's just try it out. And I was into Tool at the time. I was about maybe 12, and of course I knew about Alex Gray, who Alex Gray is in our area. Which I love him and his wife. So I was like, yeah, let me give bass a stab. And then, I studied a little basic theory, and I got better at it. And, I evolved. And then I started a band with Johnny Owen. Do you remember Johnny Owen?
I remember, yeah. I was thinking back. Like, I've been running the Sugar Red Drive album the last couple of days. Just doing my homework. I had heard it when it was first coming out too, but it had been a while. And I was remembering, I was like, I knew that this dude Archit was not the original singer.
Right.
I remember the change, and I was trying to think back to who it was. I was like, oh shit, wasn't it that kid Johnny? And he was playing rhythm guitar too, right?
Yeah. So it was Johnny and me, and we were jamming since we were about 13, 14.
Yeah.
And then we met up with PJ, who became our drummer, and then we met up with Jimmy, and then Johnny decided he didn't want to do it anymore. So then he just said, I'm out. And we were trying out vocalists before, and so we just hit up Archit, and we're like, yo, like, let's make some music. It's funny that you actually have those two albums. I don't even have those two albums.
I'm on Spotify. And,
it's on Spotify? Okay.
Yeah, the only one that's on there was the original Sugar Red Drive, the self-titled. Martian Man, the single, is on there. I was doing some research on Google. I guess you guys were supposed to put out a second album, but did that ever make it?
Yeah, so it did come out, but it was kind of like on the downswing, and so once we dropped that, it was it just didn't do well. We weren't really getting as many touring gigs. I believe that Jimmy quit, and then PJ quit. So it was getting more and more difficult to tour, because with our first album, it was difficult for it to get on radio in general because of the quality of the album. They said it was too raw. It wasn't heavily processed like how
they said that? They really said that?
Yeah. So they were like, well, we could put it on, but we can't put it on like a rotation. Yeah. So
honestly, I didn't think it sounded raw at all. We're in 2021. This is an album recorded in, I think it was 2009, 2010. To me, it stands up. I didn't listen to it, and it's like, oh yeah, you could tell it's dating itself. I thought everything was really clean.
Well, thank you, man. It's yeah, it was unfortunate because there was a lot of good songs on there. So what we did was that we took some of the old songs off the old album and we put it on the new album, then we wrote a whole slew of new songs.
Okay.
And then that enabled us to get on like the Cumulus playlist, and a bunch of other playlists that a lot of radio stations use. It's like a Spotify before radio stations, where they have to pay they have to pay the individual licensing fees. They just go to this one company and then they just give them a playlist of things. So,
all right. So you were talking, you guys joined in and everything, and Archit joined the band. When did you guys start to get big, kind of out of the garage, as you would say, and really start playing a lot out?
So I would say between 2009 and 2011, we were on tour a lot. I know that we made top 40 on Billboard.
What would you say spiked you guys up, though? What was the moment where it was like, okay, we're gonna start making some moves here?
Oh, like it was just like, yo, we got like a killer album. I mean, it was difficult to say because like we thought the songs were good. It was just a matter of like, it's hard to say where that moment like occurred, because I don't know, like I was doing this since I was like 15. I'm just like, I felt like I was always ready, and that I was always like ready to go out and do the whole tour thing. But I think it all became real once we booked our first tour. I believe that was with Saving Abel or Paper Cut Massacre. Either way, it's been over a decade. But our first tour, I was like, damn, we're actually like, we're doing it. Like, all right, and like it's the things that you see in the movies, I'm like, wow, I'm actually like in a van full of dudes smelling like crap and playing shows.
No tour bus? You guys were in the van?
Yeah, it wouldn't. No freaking those tour buses, man. Those tour buses are like $9,000 a week. Yeah, no way.
And for people who don't know, I'm going to introduce like what we're talking about, but you have 2 songs on Spotify right now that are over 20,000. One more time is around 23,000, and I think Coming Down, right? The one where he's talking about, I just woke up in my body. That's at like 21,000.
Nothing to lose.
Yeah. So that, to somebody that doesn't know, like you're just an average Joe on the street. This band has 20,000. They would think it's nothing, but there's so many bands out there that you're doing local stuff from your house or a friend's studio, and you put it on Spotify, and you always get the little shark bite, and then 1,000. I mean, less than 1,000. So for you guys to get over 20,000, that's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, I didn't even know that we had 20,000 hits. That's how observant I am.
Yeah, those 2 were both above 20,000. You had a couple around like 15, 14,000. So it definitely made its way around. Yeah. What's the farthest you guys went out on tour? Did you went all over the country?
Yeah, I mean, I'm currently on the West Coast right now, but yeah, we went out to the West Coast. We were in the most southern tip of Texas. We were in Montana. I mean, we went to the 48.
And that was probably with Saving Abel.
It was with Saving Abel. Then we did a run with Puddle of Mud, and then we did
really.
Yeah. That was interesting.
What year was that?
Oh shit. That was maybe 2012. No, not 2012. Yeah, I think 2012. Yeah. So
you say interesting. Now I'm a huge fan of Puddle of Mud. I have all their
Are you?
Stuff. Yeah. I love all that shit. That post grunge, Puddle of Mud.
Yeah.
Don't give me crap for this. Creed. I love Creed. All that stuff.
I'm not giving you crap.
But anyway, me and my friend, we saw Puddle of Mud. It had to have been 5 years ago, maybe. And this was like a couple days after some shit went down. Like, I guess Wes had lost his house, and he was
yeah.
So yes. we go so it's at the Chance, right? So the curtain comes up, and dude is just sitting on a bar stool, glazed over. He's got a bottle of Jack on the floor. a bottle of Miller Lite on the other side, just glazed. So they're coming out to Drift and Die, right? Same riff over and over again for about 2 minutes, and meanwhile he's just
fucking nodding
glazed.
off.
And then finally he's going,
No, yes,
bro,
yeah.
they were terrible. It wasn't that they were terrible. He was just not. He was not able to play or sing, and they probably played about 7 songs. The bands, like the guitarist and the bassist, they probably sung about 4 of them, and like he was wasted, bro. Like when you should be kind of high with your vocals, like not even high, but just like in the middle. Like forgot it, he'd be like, he would go low on like, everything and just be like, so bad. But then they came back like a year and a half later when he was sober, and they were killer. He was rhythm guitar, and he didn't talk a lot, but they just busted through all the songs. I cut you off, sorry, man. So you went you were on tour with Puddle of Mud. Who else did you go on tour with? Saving Abel, Puddle of Mud. What are some other big bands?
We did a run with Live, Candlebox.
Those are some big bands, man. In the 90s, those guys had the hits.
Yeah, I know that Ed Kowalczyk was. So we were on tour with Live, and then he was doing some solo stuff. So he was shopping around for that. So we did a few dates with him. We did a few dates with Powerman 5000, which was like my dream. I was like, no way, I'm with freaking Spider right now. And this he was just so cool, man. Like he was super cool. He came up to me, goes, I'm like, yo, what's up, man? I'm Dave. I can barely talk. He's like, I'm Spider. I'm like, of course you're Spider, bro. Like, love it. That was pretty cool.
Was that the height of it? Was that your peak of euphoria right there?
I don't know, man, because like there were so many, like don't be getting me wrong, like tour was a lot of fun. I mean, you're hanging with your friends, you're doing stupid things, you're playing out, you're drinking, you're having some fun, and there was little moments that just made it worth it, and then there was big moments that made it worth it, you know, like such as life. So it's difficult to say what was the peak of it, because everything, there was a lot of stuff that was just really cool.
You were, so you guys were drinking a lot back then?
I mean, we were drinking a good amount. You know, this was when like Jaeger bombs were popular. I can't drink Jaeger to this day. Like get that shit away from me. But yeah, like we were drinking. I mean, that was probably the most that I was drinking. I wasn't like an alcoholic or anything, but like people would like buy you drinks all the time. You'd be like, yo, that was a great set. Come and hang out with us, and they'll bring over shots. I'm like, I'm gonna die. Like, but okay. So I got really good at drinking.
You still drink?
Hardly. I mean, it's difficult. I mean, with this new job, it's I don't really want to drink. So I mean, even though I'm not working as much, but I'm just tired and I just got other stuff to do. I mean, like I'll enjoy like a good beer, but like I'm not gonna go out to bar to get smashed.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, if you're tired, I mean, I got a 16-month-old here, and bro, sometimes you sleep overall, man. Sleep overall. But so yeah, you guys, you went out there. So when did it start turning the other way for you?
So it wasn't like, was it 2019? No, not 2019. Was it 2009? So I got into a really bad car accident on tour, and it resulted in me like annihilating my left arm, which turned me into a better bass player somehow. Just from, because this was before like Obamacare, so I had to do my own physical therapy, and the doctor said, look, since you don't have insurance, like just play your bass, like that's the best physical therapy. So that's what I did.
How convenient.
Yeah, it worked out. Wow, thanks, doc. But I mean, after a while, when you just tour, you kind of see your own future in others.
So
You
what was some stuff that you saw? You had mentioned that you had seen other bands around you where you were like, I don't know. You don't have to name names, but give me some instances where you saw a guy or, you know, a couple dudes doing something where it was like, yeah, I don't know if this life is for me.
I mean, here's a few examples. You know, like stressing out on tour. You know, seeing if you made enough to pay rent for back home,
Yeah.
or just like just the abuse on your body. Like there's some people that we ran into where they're like 40. I'm like, you guys look 60. Like this is not good. I'm like, yeah, we've been touring for a long time. I'm like, this sucks. Like this is not good. And you can kind of work in like 20-hour days, man. For what? I mean, like, yeah, the joy of music. Like I love playing for a crowd. I love creating music and just doing my thing, but it was hard. I mean, it was really difficult. I did most of the driving too, so I was driving like 8 to 10 hours a day, and then like I had to unload a trailer and then
Yeah.
set up my equipment, do a quick sound check, kind of schmooze the crowd a bit before I go on, get on stage, interact with the crowd, try to sell some merch, maybe have a few drinks, and then get back in the car to decide if I want to drive through the night or if we gotta drive a few hours, sleep in the van, and then do it all over again.
Yeah.
It's brutal, and you know you see your future there
What
in other people.
what were you leaving home while you were on the road? Did you have a girlfriend at the time? Your parents still were alive?
Yeah, I mean, like it just
Siblings?
yeah, like my brothers and sisters, my friends, my parents, my grandparents. You know, I there was a lot of things that you miss when you're on tour, and I would make sure that I would call up my mom every day. It did not matter. I would call her or I would shoot her a text because you know moms worry.
Yeah.
And especially since after my car accident where I like nearly died, so I made sure I came in contact with her every day. But you know, when you come home, sometimes you just feel like a stranger.
Yeah.
It's a difficult feeling. Like it's just like you expect things to go back to normal. It's like, no, dude, you were gone for like 8 weeks, and
Yeah.
then you're coming home to little cash in your pocket, and you had to work a side job now. Like it wasn't like I was just touring and I was home chilling. Like I still had to work when I came home. I was doing overnights in a grocery store. Um, I was um, I was working at a pizzeria, you know, just making pizza or delivering it or yelling at the owner, you know, it's
Yeah.
just so even though if you do make money on the road, I mean like yeah, it can be profitable, but most of the time you're dumping it back into your van, you know, just like getting more merch, getting more CDs, fixing your van, paying all the guys, paying all your crew members. It's difficult. It's owning your business.
Yeah. What was the number one source of income while you were on the road? Was it the merch? Was it just the fact you were playing?
It depended. I mean, like sometimes when we would play festivals, it would be merch. Other times it would just be the guarantee before the night. Um, but like sometimes it's just hard because like you don't know where your next meal was, like, at least at the start of the tour.
Yeah.
Um, so you're just eating like crap, and hopefully you'll make enough to even just get a Subway sandwich, which
Yeah.
might be the most healthy meal
Back
you
then it
have
was
all day.
the $5 footlong was actually
Oh,
$5 though. So
it was great, man. Like give me that tuna, you know? Just
back
it
when
was
tuna wasn't tuna. It's
yeah,
okay
it
though.
was it's something else. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm still alive.
So you guys you put the record out. It sold pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, it sold well for like we weren't signed to a label.
What label did you guys have?
So we were through distribution through Sony Red. And a lot of our albums were in a lot of and like in FYEs, some Best Buys.
Okay, yeah.
So I know that we made some off of that, but it wasn't the main source. It was just to get us out there. We did a lot of radio shows where we would show up to a radio station and be like, "Hey, we're playing here tonight. Here's a sample of our song," and we would play it acoustically.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, like, so we had a distribution deal, which is good, but there's nothing like a major label push. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like they have all the hookups. They can get you on any tour that you need. But then they own like your freaking album. And they're like, yeah, we own your masters. So, if anything happens,
Yeah.
I'm trying not to swear on your
No,
show,
I
by the
don't.
way.
Dude, who cares?
Yeah, I know, but like I don't want to be saying fuck all the time. So
That's all right. What?
yeah.
So what did the contract look like? Was it kind of like robbery? Were they making a lot of money off of anything that you
No,
sold, or it was pretty even?
it was pretty fair, to be honest. From what I remember, it was pretty fair. We would just have to. I know that we had to make a certain amount just to send to them so that they could send it out. And then it was a relatively good deal because like we weren't like making money off of the album in general. Like you make money
Yeah.
off of merch. So I mean anything, it's just good just to get your album out there and was accessible. But this was like in the early aughts. So like still people were still kind of buying CDs. So but then we were making that transition towards digital. So I know that we had a digital deal with Apple Music for a bit. Or like a downloadable thing through I forget which service.
Yeah.
A service that failed.
All that I ever used was iTunes.
Yeah.
There was another one. It started like with a Z or a V. I don't know, but like you said, it failed. It was iTunes back then. That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
I want to go back. We still have to go over the downfall of the actual band. Let's put that to the side for a second. I'm always interested in the behind the scenes of the music kind of thing. Now you guys are 4 dudes. Me, I'm kind of a jerk when it comes to music. Like it's hard to collaborate for me personally. I always wonder.
I understand that.
With 4 guys, was there a main songwriter? Was it a collaborative effort? How was the music? How did the music come about? Things like that.
So Jimmy helped write most of the songs because he was the guitar player, and I wrote some of the songs too. And Archie wrote the vocals, and PJ wrote drum parts. So it was pretty democratic. We would just like jam it out, and if the idea didn't work, we're like, screw this. We'll just move on to something else. But we would all have our input, and it would be like, yeah, that kind of works, or that kind of sucks, and it wasn't like anything malicious. We got along pretty well as far as like songwriting comes.
Yeah.
So it was a good process. We melted pretty well.
That's cool, man. So you guys would actually just all sit in the same room at the same time and just kind of bounce ideas off of each other?
Yeah, and it was nice because we had our own studio space, and it was in this abandoned business park, so we could play there as late as until like the last like few years where people were making complaints about us playing. I'm like, really? Who the fuck is filing a complaint? There's no one around here, but.
Yeah.
It was really sketchy. I mean, the whole area was pretty sketchy, but it's okay.
Yeah. All right, man. So let's get to it. So, just like I asked, when you thought it blew up, what's the moment where things kind of took a downward turn for the band?
So we were talking about going to India because rock music was really blowing up there, and we're like, yeah, we can go there. We need to work on our visas. Archit is an Indian citizen, so he was able to go over there. That's no problem for him. We could get work visas. Then we were going to do I think 30 dates or something. But Jimmy.
India?
Yeah.
Wow.
We were just gonna do India. I was super stoked. I'm like, I've never been to India. Let's go to India. I'm not sure which regions in India, but I know that there was some act that wanted to do those dates. I don't know if it was Candlebox or something else. And Jimmy just wasn't feeling it anymore. Jimmy's like, yo, like I'm done. And I was like, well, yo, what? So after Jimmy quit, it was difficult to find a guitar player. I mean, we found some that were absolutely great, but none that can commit to like touring and all that other stuff. We had our buddies Corey, um, who was in a band called Pound years ago.
I know
Local,
Pounds,
yeah,
and then later Flywheel. Yep.
yep, yeah. And then we had Dan from what the hell was his band? It was really good though. Either way, so we had them step in. We were like, yo, we're gonna go out on tour, and they're like, yo, we can only do like small little legs, and I was like, well, that this really sucks. And then PJ quit, and then I was like, I need to go back to school. So I ended up going back to school.
Why'd PJ quit? Just same kind of thing as Jimmy.
Yeah. I mean, he was just kind of over it. He still PJ still plays, Jimmy still plays. They're both excellent musicians. I would like to jam with them at some point. I can't now since I'm on the West Coast, but
Where
whenever
are
I
you?
come back,
Where are you at?
I'm currently in Oregon.
Wow. And you're a traveling nurse, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how'd you end up in Oregon? You're traveling nurse, that's really traveling. What's like your home base? Are you still New York based or?
No. So since essentially I'm homeless, my I went to a state that had cheaper rent. So now Florida is my home base, which is
right.
which is where my parents live. So whenever I'm home, I can at least be around my parents.
What part of Florida are they at? My dad's down there too.
Oh, he's in they're in Punta Gorda.
Oh, okay. My dad's in North Fort Myers.
Oh yeah, that's super close. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice. So I'm out here because there's a good contract out here, so I just came out here. That's pretty much it. I mean, it pays well, so
yeah. No, I mean, where the money is, you follow it.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's just you and Archit still, right?
Yeah, and then we got our buddy Dave. He was a magnificent drummer. He's so talented. Then we had our buddy Steve Perkins. He's currently on tour right now with his own band. It's called the Eclipsia. Great band, great bunch of guys. And when I was in playing with them, I was back in school at this point, and I was going to Dutchess, and I had an opportunity to enlist in a nursing program in Niagara Falls, which is where a lot of my extended family were. I'm like, well, I'm going to go do that because it is impossible to get into the nursing program in Dutchess. So I ended up moving there, and I was up there for a long time, and now I'm doing the travel nurse thing.
Okay. So that was your story of Sugar Red Drive then, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great experience. If I had to do it again, I'm undecided whether I would do it again without the knowledge that I know now. Because although it was fun, it was great, it was a difficult journey, and I'm happy where I'm at now. I'm happy with what I'm doing. I was also happy initially to what I was doing. It's just it got hard, man. It's life draining. It can't be life draining.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you were saying. I mean, the world's still spinning, and then if you feel like you're stuck in a tour bus and you can't kind of get out of it, you got to kind of weigh. All right, well.
Right.
Do I do this? Do I do this? I get it.
Yeah. It was either shit or get off the pot and get into something that I was interested in. And nursing was something I was interested in because I wanted to become a medical doctor or a surgeon of some sort. But I was already 23 at this point. I'm like, do I really want to bury myself in student loans for a field that I'm not too sure about, or let's just try out nursing and see if you like it.
Yeah.
So.
Was there any bitterness between any of you guys before you? Is anybody really pissed off? Again, you don't have to say names if you don't want to. But
no, I'm still friends with them. They're all doing very, very well. I wish them nothing but happiness. They have wonderful families. I know that there's a few of them that don't talk to each other, which is fine. But generally. Yeah, and how shit went down, but not because of the quitting, but just other things. just internal strife, and which is fine. But I consider them all wonderful people, and I was thankful for that opportunity.
Yeah, man, you had it sounds like you had a hell of a ride, and you might, like I said in the beginning, like it it might have taken a toll on you, but for a lot of people that's the dream, and you should be proud that you got to experience it, even if it was relatively brief, and even if it had its negatives, but you did it, man. You could always say that,
Yeah, and
when you
I
go to
realized
Google
that.
and you put in Sugar Red Drive, there you are with that sleeveless vest and the hand on the belt buckle.
Yeah. Oh God. I
You'll
wish they
always
would
be
do
there.
get rid of that fucking photo, please, Google.
So listen, I gotta ask you a serious question, right?
All right,
So
I'm listening. I'm listening.
I did see the No Apologies music video.
Oh boy.
In general, who was in charge of the wardrobe? And who was telling Archit to wag his finger? It was great song, great song.
Yeah, no, it was that song's interesting. Being polite. It's not one of my favorites. So this was directed by, so the person who directed it, this person identifies as female now, and I forgot, I think it's Audrey Babis now. So she was directing it and filming it, and he gave us free reign on the wardrobe, and I was just like, yo guys, what should I wear? And they were like, well, look badass. I'm just like, I'd rather wear a long sleeve shirt, but if we want to maintain this cock rock like motif, I guess I'll throw on a vest.
Yeah.
I guess.
No
and like
sleeves.
yeah, and I wasn't really in like I was in good shape. I'm in better shape now, but I was just like, now looking back, I'm like, that was a very bold choice.
Yeah. Hey, you pulled it off, though. You pulled it off.
Oh, thank you.
So you're still working out?
Yeah, recently I got a hernia at work, so I had to take some time off from the gym, but yeah, I'm still in relatively good shape.
You got the sciatica then? Any sciatica?
No, just
hernia. I got a herniated disc. So
Jesus. Oh no.
Hernia is a little different.
Yeah, I got an umbilical hernia on the job, so that was pretty awful. Then I had to get surgery in early July. They recently cleared me to go back to the gym, so I'm doing okay now. It's just they got to get back to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still play at all?
It's difficult to travel with the bass. I just saw, which is funny because I saw an ad for a U bass. It's like a ukulele, but it's got like bass pickups on it and bass strings, and it's relatively like compact. So I was thinking, because I was thinking about getting a theremin. I was like, I need some sort of musical outlet, more creative outlet, because I was doing digital art for like a hot second. And I was just like, yeah, this is cool, but like, I want to make music and make stupid songs and sing to my cats and do silly things. So I saw this U bass. I'm like, I might end up buying that.
Did you you've always had kind of the musical drive. You never lost it, even after the band kind of split. Were you just kind of like, you know what, I'm sick of music, or was it always kind of like, it's over, but I'm still a musician. I still have the urge to play.
I mean, I hate to classify myself as a musician now because I hardly play. And even when I was in school, it was difficult for me just to pick it up and practice every single day. So when I was done with school and I started working, then I had to work a crap load of hours, and I had some other obligations. So like I would still pick up and play, but it's hard to classify myself as a musician, even though like I could still write a song. And but it really is a good feeling. Like I thoroughly enjoy it still. Like I'll still play.
When you're playing, what are you rocking out to? You doing some like what are your influences? Like what kind of bands did you grow up with?
So initially, so what got me into bass was just Tool. Like I love Tool. then like Nine Inch Nails, Deftones when they were coming out, and then
Yeah.
Slipknot when they came out, and then I got into funk, and I started studying theory so I could at least understand the basics. I probably should have studied more in like retrospect because like I'm not like a genius at it. Um, so I always liked the industrial-esque sort of stuff. And then I got into grindcore and metalcore, and
That's crazy
I
shit.
yeah, I'm still into it. Like I'll throw
Yeah.
on some like Chelsea Grin still, and or lately it's just been like genty shit, and so yeah, those are those are my main things. Like anything progressive, alternative.
Yeah.
Definitely enjoy.
Like when you're writing lyrics, what same kind of influences, or do you have a
Um,
favorite songwriter that you try to
I mean,
replicate?
I always enjoyed Maynard James Keenan's ability to. He does like a circle of nights. Like he they'll be playing like in the key of like A sharp, and then whatever note, the main note that they're playing, he always sings it at a ninth, and it's such like an eerie sort of way to sing to a song because you're going an octave higher and then like a little bit more, a couple steps up. So when I'm writing a song, I always try to do that because my lows are not great, but they're good. But like, if I go higher, it gets a little shaky. So it's something that I always try to improve on. But I focus more on melody, not so much like lyrics. If I'm writing lyrics, it's usually
Yeah.
like I made a silly poop, like it's just stupid shit.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah. How about you, man?
What about me?
Well, like, what are your influences? What do you base yourself off of? I'm curious.
Well, I mean, the first band I ever got into, like my first love was the Beatles.
Of
Um,
course, yeah.
my first concert ever was Three Doors Down at the Civic Center.
All right.
Stained was around there, but
It's been a while.
yeah, I liked all that, the alternative stuff, like I was saying, Puddle of Mud, Seether. I'm a
Yeah.
big Seether fan.
Uh,
That
See, the guys are cool.
around high school, probably like sophomore year, I started getting into metal. I heard Korn for the first time, and I was like, damn, like I was kind of a quiet kid, and it just the overall vibe kind of resonated with me. So then from there, you move on to like Slipknot, and you find
Right.
Mudvayne and
Hmm.
all that kind of stuff. But when I play music, I just when I play out for people, it's just acoustic guitar and I sing covers. That's what
Yeah.
people like. That's
Exactly.
what gives me the best rush too. It's like I could play fucking Dream. I can't. Just to be clear. But in theory, if I went on a stage and I played Dream Theater
Right.
for note perfect, nobody's gonna fucking care.
No.
But
No one.
when you go on and perform in front of 30 drunk people and you play Wonderwall, those motherfuckers they sing
Oh yeah.
the top
I
of their lungs.
sing
Like
it.
if you're not gonna get a reaction, then there's no point in my opinion.
So it's really funny that you say that because we would play cover songs when we were on tour because a lot of
Yeah.
times people didn't know us. So we'll play like Alice in Chains or something,
Yeah.
or like Rage Against the Machine just to get the crowd into it. I mean, like playing it an original song is great and all, but like no one gives a fuck. Like no one goes out to get coffee to listen to some guy sing about his woes. They want to hear Maroon 5. I mean,
Yeah.
but live, and people generally enjoy live music. It's just something that they have to identify with, and just there needs to be that link. And covers are
Yeah.
a good way of doing it.
I mean, you gotta the way to draw people in is with covers, and then what
Absolutely.
you can do is like a cover sandwich. Do a cover here,
Yeah, exactly.
put
Yeah.
an original in with a good chorus, and then throw another cover on the other end, and then you can get people into the original stuff. But like you were saying, for the most part, if you're just up there to indulge yourself, you're gonna end up with a lot of people just looking down at their phone.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
And
you gotta draw them in some way.
It's really funny that you bring up Dream Theater, because I remember when I was a teenager, Jake, he went to high school with my sister, and I went over. I think I went to a graduation party, and Jake was there. John Petrucci's nephew. He grew up around us. Yeah, he's in Periphery now. So he was telling me, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go out on tour with my uncle, and I'm just gonna be running samples and shit. I'm like, that's fucking awesome. Like, what?
Yeah.
So I was, and thinking back, I was like, wow, like that's actually possible. And this guy, Jake, is doing it. Yeah, that was really cool. He's a nice guy. I haven't talked to him in years, but I hope I get to bump into him soon.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, I appreciate you talking to me. We're going to wrap it up in a little bit, but
yeah, of course.
The podcast is called Headbangers at the Hangar. It's a heavy metal / alien UFO fusion podcast. I named it kind of after Hangar 18, the Megadeth song, because there's a lot of alien themes in it. So if you're interested, do you have any kind of thoughts on what's going on out here with the aliens? Any opinions? You think they exist? What do you think's going on?
So
a lot of UFOs in the sky.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see how those files, the video files, were uncovered, and like no one gave a fuck about it. I think this was like 2 years ago. No, this was like recently too, and they just dropped that there was just this unidentified object that was freely moving in a 3-dimensional environment. Like, we don't know what this is. The thought of aliens is great. Because it's a life force, or a life being, or in some way, shape, or form, that's interacting with a different species, a different everything. And I love that idea, and I want there to be aliens, and there is some evidence of it. I just want to meet an alien and be like, yo, like, what's up? Like,
well, you're out west. Are you seeing anything or no?
No, I haven't seen anything yet. I would love to, though. I almost went to an alien con in Portland. Instead, I went to a tattoo convention. But it's really cool, man. And it's really cool to see how many people believe in aliens. And some of them are believable, and some of them are just like, dude, you need to be on an antipsychotic or something, because that's like some delusional hallucination shit. It's
a hard topic to really navigate at times, just because, like you're saying, there's a lot of bullshit that's out there.
Unfortunately,
there's a lot of sick people that making it up, but it's you can't deny that something's going on for sure. I mean, you got all these UFOs that, listen, if they were just there with a video or a picture, that's one thing. But when you have the government admitting, saying, yes, we know that they're there, we don't know what they are, but we acknowledge that they're there. So then the question becomes, and this is my favorite question to skeptics, right? So I don't believe in aliens, I don't believe in it. That's fine. You can say that, but can you then explain to me what is in these videos that the Pentagon has said, yes, it exists? So you have to give me an answer of some kind. Is it Russia? Is it China? Is it interdimensional?
Misinformation.
Yeah. Well, if you can't, these days it's impossible to just say they don't exist.
Right.
Because there are things up there now. There's proof. There's the government admitting it. Like, there's got to be an answer at some point. Where do you think they're coming from? If you had to guess, just put your money on it. Are they coming from the water, interdimensional? Are people getting high on mushrooms? What's going on?
Oh, I love mushrooms. So there's a lot of it out here. But it's difficult to say, man, because like we don't know what's in our oceans. And it's difficult to say, like, what's the whole point of them being here? Like, there's got to be some sort of purpose. If it's some sort of wanderlust, okay, cool. Is it resource management? Okay. Is it like, it's difficult to say because it's difficult to know what the motives are from a whole separate being. I mean, like, they could be breathing in methane for all we know, and their atmosphere is methane based, and it rains methane and all this other stuff. And they may have a different culture or some sort of different ideal, and it's difficult to say. And I think that's like the most fun about it, because it's like this, you can go so many different ways about it. I would like to think that they are coming from either outer space and they're chilling in our oceans, because that's the best way to hide. And and the passage of time might be different for them, and they're just observing and just documenting, I would hope. And maybe they can, like, you know, transfer my consciousness to an alien body or something. I would really like that.
Yeah, there's one theory I heard, which I don't know, might be bullshit, but it was interesting, that, you know, when the Big Bang happened or whatever, there might have been a period of time where most humans were wiped out, but there was a small portion of them that they made it somehow.
Okay.
And the thought is, like, they're evolving at the same rate as we are, but they got a, you know, whatever million-year head start, or how many ever thousands. And so now, like, they're basically us, but they're just, you know, they have a huge head start and they've already discovered all this technology and stuff. But, you know, who knows, man? What do you think? Do you think before we die, we're about the same age, do you think we get an answer?
I would hope so, and I really hope it's your answer, because the concept of time dilation, when it relates to gravity, if these humans are closer to a source of gravity that is so immense that the passage of time is faster for them, and they're able to progress faster than us, that would really suck for us, because if they're so advanced, then we're probably not going to see it, because what's 10 years for us might be 1,000 for them.
Yeah.
But I hope so, man. Like, if I'm 80 and I see one alien, like, I'm good. Like, life is complete.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. I really appreciate you coming on here. You gave me and the audience a lot of good stuff, man. And like I said, you know, you lived the dream. You did it. So you should be very proud. You know, even if you know, there was some good, some bad, but you did it, man. It's on Spotify, so it lives forever. You know. Yeah,
it's living the digital age. And actually, I think we had more hits on Pandora when Pandora was a thing.
What was the big one was
One More Time.
Yeah, One More Time. You got crowd participation on that? You could build that up. Archie could be like, you do this, and I'll do this. People were singing that.
Yeah, that was like really cool.
Yep. Yeah. All right, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me on. It was an absolute pleasure.
All right. Thank you. See you later, man.
Take care.